What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in the last video I talked about turning my Nissan Xterra into a car camper, and in this video we're going to be installing the solar panel on the roof. So I wasn't really sure how I was going to install it on the roof because I did not want to screw into the roof, but after a 5-minute walk through a hardware store I came up with this idea here. So I got 4 of these U-bolts, a whole bunch of lock nuts, and then I got 2 pieces of 4-foot 1 3/8 steel. It has holes screwed all the way through it. So with these U-bolts, let me show you what I have planned. Alright, so we're now on top of the car. Let's go ahead and take off these nuts. So I found a U-bolt that fits this bar on top of the roof perfectly. So I'm going to throw this washer on here and then bolt that back on. Alright, so there is that, and that will be just like so. Alright, so here is the piece of steel. I'm going to be putting that like so, and then this will go on the bolt right there. I need to cut this hole longer right here so that I can fit inside there, and then I will bolt this on to this U-bolt as well. Once I get that bolted on, I will bend this down to be on the roof. I will be able to screw the solar panel to this right here through the holes. I'm going to be putting this on the back side of this steel right here, and it will be on every spot that has the rib. So we'll have 4 pieces of the tape on each steel piece. So we're going to have 2 of these U-bolts on each side, one back there, one up here, same on that side. And then there will be a running piece of steel that will be glued down to the roof of the car and also bolted onto these U-bolts here. That was my plan. I came up with it walking through the hardware store. I need to go ahead and mark this, which I've already done here. So I just need to go cut out this area there, and that way I can have both of these bolts sticking through a hole. As you can see, I need to extend that hole right there. It needs to bend down about 1 inch. That way the solar panel is sitting as low to the roof as possible. It still has to sit below this handle here. And also, I want it to be not above this, so that way the wind is coming right over the solar panel. I won't be affected by any wind drag or anything like that. So I want the solar panel to be as low as possible. I may just cut this entire thing out. It might be the easiest way to go. And then I will just throw on some washers, and that will be held on there pretty tight. Now I can mark that spot where I need to bend it. Let's go see how that is gonna fit. As you can see, the bend comes down, and then we have the rest of this going to over there. I'm gonna have to bend that side, do the exact same thing I did over here to that side, put the U-bolt on, but that's basically how this is going to hold the solar panel. Once again, look how crazy good this fits on top of the Xterra. It's hanging over this back hatch, but since it has this groove right here in the hatch, watch what happens. That groove perfectly wraps around it. Go ahead and open it. That's how close. That's insane. That's how perfect this solar panel fits on top of the Xterra. It is crazy. Look how close that is, but it works out perfect. Just because the Xterra has that little groove right there, man. That's awesome. Alright, close it back down and watch this gap right here. Close it. That gap right there is where I'm gonna have to put the cord. I just rebent the metal, and now the solar panel is perfectly centered on top of the car. So that bend is perfect. Now I just need to come over here and mark it where I can bend it again, and then basically make the same bend. But yeah, this looks sick. This looks amazing. I love it already. All right, so now you can see we have the same bend. It's not exact, but it's close enough. This metal is pretty forgiving, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But now I can use this side to bend this one right here. All right, so I got all of it bent and it matches up perfectly. Pretty stoked with how that came out. It looks pretty freaking good. But I'm going to set this back up on the roof rack, get this bolted in, and then I can mark where to cut off all this excess. So let's go ahead and put this back on top. All right, so I got my marks, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece of metal. All right, so I put the solar panel back on top, and I got it where it's gonna be. I'm gonna go ahead and mark these brackets where the solar panel sits, and that way I can screw it on when it's not on the car and know where it's gonna be. Alright, so I just got 2 brackets screwed onto the solar panel. This morning I went to the store and picked up 1 more bracket. I figured if I'm going to be driving down the highway at 75 miles per hour, I don't want to have to worry about the solar panel flying off. So I figured 1 more bracket and a little more support to hold the solar panel on the roof rack won't hurt at all. So I need to go ahead and bend this one. I got the 3rd bracket made. Now we can go ahead and install this onto the solar panel. There is the 3rd bracket screwed on. We have all 3 on there, so now we can throw it on top of the roof and see how it looks, and then bolt it down with these U-bolts. Alright, so screwing these down is going to take forever, and you already saw me install these U-bolts on the roof rack in this video, so I'm not going to film bolting these down. It's going to take forever, so I will see y'all with the finished product. Alright, we have progress. I got all of the bolts bolted down. I'm not going to lie, that sucked, but this thing is solid. I can shake the solar panel and the entire car shakes. That thing is sturdy, and I am 100% sure that this thing will never fly off. So that is good. Where I'm at now is running these cords down into the car. So the cords are running over here, but I'm going to use that gap there to have the wires. I ran the wires. It was kind of tough because the ends are pretty big, but I was able to bring the wires through this side and then move this grommet here and push the wires through there. The goal is to push these through here, this hole right there. Then I'll be able to close this grommet back, and then those wires will come out through this hole right here in the back, and that is where I will have the wires to the battery here. Okay, so I got the other wires that run to the battery, and my plan is to run these up the hole and then out this hole. Then I will attach it, and then I will be able to pull all of it out back through here. I'm not sure where those big bulky plastic things will end up inside here, but I just need it to come somewhat out there, and hopefully this will work out. Alright, so there is how it looks. I did have to modify that grommet a little bit to get those big wires in there and get the grommet back in there. But I'm going to go ahead and get some liquid tape, cover that little hole, and that way no water will leak into that hole. But there is how that looks. I got the rest of it running down in here. If we come up top, this is how it looks. So we got the solar panel, the wires run right through there, and they sit right there in that gap. Alright, so watch those wires It sits right there in a gap, never even touches the back of the hatch. How freaking awesome is that? It has this big old wire right here, so I should be able to fit the rest of this wire behind this panel here. Don't have much of a problem with that. Hopefully, we'll see. We're about to find out right now. Ugh, get in there. All right, guys, so there is that panel back, and you can see the wire right here. I mean, that's not the prettiest, but that is great. I will gladly take that any day. That wire will run down. I may like wrap it behind this fire extinguisher because I do have about maybe 3 or 4 or 5 feet of extra wire there. But now all I have to do is get the battery in here and plug this in, and we are now running off of solar power. That easy. Plug this in, plug and play, and simple. But I will do that tomorrow because it is dark outside, and right now the battery won't even charge because there's no sunlight. The battery is already charged anyways, so yeah, we will finish this video off tomorrow in the sun. Hopefully we got sun tomorrow. And of course, why does the universe hate me? No sun at all today, but I got the battery in the car. I plugged it in, it beeped and it turned on, but we're getting no watts because there's no sun. But it turned on, so that's good. I wonder if it's not getting any input because it's fully charged as well. Maybe this thing needs to be dead or not fully charged to charge it. But that was the complete install of my solar panel in my Nissan Xterra. This is just the first part of this micro camper build. First thing I wanted to get done was the solar panel. I figured that was the hardest part, but it was actually super easy. Everything just worked out. Everything fell right in place. You saw how tight fit this panel was, and it was amazing. Super easy. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Like I mentioned, I will probably be building a shelf right in this area, and this is where this battery will sit. That way it isn't in the way of anything, and it will be freaking sweet. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Holy crap, it is freaking cold. More SUV camper build videos coming soon, but I hope you all enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.